My next guest was described by Time magazine as the body of our time. Cover girl, supermodel, businesswoman, and now film star. Please welcome Elle Macpherson. Lovely to see you. Hi, you don't mind me saying, I mean, we're only standing up for a second, but you're a tall lady.
I have shoes on too, high heels.
Yeah, well, that makes me feel better.
Don't worry, it's not only you.
No, I actually stood against Arnie Schwarzenegger the other day, but you're just a little tiny tot compared.
Oh, actually not. There's not much difference in our height. I think he's about 6'3" or 6'4", and I'm 6 foot, and with heels, I'm almost as tall as he is.
Yeah? How did it feel? How did it feel when you... There must have been one day when you woke up and you'd been reading the papers and thought, hey, they're describing me. I'm now becoming known as the body. Did you object to maybe think, hey, they're turning me into a bimbo here?
No. I've never really been concerned about that. I do understand the media. I've been in the business for 13 years, and I understand that this is just like a media title. It's you know, something that somebody decided one day and it's stuck. And you know, I tend not to like monitor myself according to the press. I don't believe half of what's in the press, let alone, you know, believe those kind of titles. It's just a thing that has...
You know where you're going, don't you? I get the feeling you're focused and you know what you're doing and where you're going.
Well, I know where I've been, more
this
movie, the point.
The movie, I mean, you made a movie with Hugh Grant.
Right, who was wonderful.
Sirens. There wasn't much of a wardrobe budget, was there, on that movie?
Well, I think you're exaggerating there, actually. There was only a few moments where...
Only a few moments?
There wasn't 3 minutes or... No, actually, it was 1.5 minutes.
Is that all?
In 3 sections, all in all. Oh. Which, you know, of course, there's been much speculation about the nudity in it. But I felt very comfortable with it because I believe that it was not gratuitous, it was shot in a very elegant way, and that it was really part of the story. The story was about the suppression of the female form by the church in this artist's work, and I think that it was completely within context and shot in a very tasteful way.
Certainly that. Most... It was to my taste.
Well, I should hope so.
Most people who take the clothes off, well, certainly ladies, they want to lose weight, but you had to put weight on.
I had to put weight on,
How much?
And it was, I put on 20 pounds. For
20
pounds?
I
didn't have to. I decided to put on the weight because I felt that during the 1930s, women were more voluptuous. They didn't have the same type of athletic bodies that women do in the 90s, 80s, and 90s.
Is that all down to these workouts?
Well, exactly. And also Norman Lindsay painted women that were much more voluptuous. So I felt in order to make Sheila a believable character so that people could walk into the cinemas and not say, oh, there's Elle Macpherson, but they could really be engulfed in the story and believe that this person was Sheila. Part of that was to change her physically, so I put on 20 pounds, I dyed my hair dark.
Hang on a minute. You said I put on 20 pounds. How do you do that?
Well, it wasn't that easy, to tell you the truth, because naturally I am pretty much the weight I am. I have a fast metabolism and I'm very fortunate. I put on a lot of muscle tone, so I was in the gym pumping iron and eating a high-protein diet and a lot of things. A little bit like when a boxer moves from a middleweight to a heavyweight, there's a lot of physical activity that has to take place in order to put that bulk on.
What advice would you give, say, to an impressionable teenage girl? They see pictures of people like you and they find themselves on a dieting spiral that they maybe can't control. Is there anything you could tell these kids?
I would say to young girls, the most important thing is to be healthy and to feel good about yourself and to be in the best possible mental and physical state that you can be in. Mental and emotional above everything, because that will then in turn reflect upon the exterior body, and that should be the focus. And that's the focus in the tape, and that's always been my focus.
Hey, some of the models are trying other things these days. Some are going into making records. Would you do that? Would you make a record? Would you sing?
Do you know, unlike you, although I know we all have like doubts about that, I have a terrible voice. Really terrible. I'm totally tone deaf.
Perhaps we should make a duet. We could sell a lot of car alarms between us.
Maybe you could make a karaoke record.
A karaoke?
A karaoke record.
And you've got a party. I'm not going to ask you to do it now, I promise. Is it something you would sing at a party? Not now.
Not even Happy Birthday.
I
hum. That's about as far as it goes. I mouth the words.
You would appear to have on the surface just about everything that a lady would want. You've got beauty, fame, fortune, everything I would assume except privacy. Is that a thing? The paparazzi, are they going to drive you crackers?
I feel very fortunate. I understand being in the public eye means sometimes being in the public eye when you don't feel like being in the public eye. But I'm certainly not one to complain because I understand how privileged I am. As far as privacy is concerned, I believe that if you conduct your life with a certain amount of discretion, you will always have privacy, and I try to do that as much as I can.
Yeah, a lot of it we can bring on ourselves, can't we? If you go around...
Absolutely. If you're somebody that really likes to have the press, and believe you me, the press will be around. But if you want to escape, 3/4 of the time you can. Like, for example, this Christmas, I decided I was going to go and climb a mountain, which I did.
Climb a mountain?
Yes.
Not many press up there, or
Well, it was when they couldn't make it because it's so difficult. I decided to climb Kilimanjaro, which is the highest mountain in Africa. It's 20,000 feet above sea level, and I walked with my backpack on the back, very difficult conditions, camping for 7 days. And, you know, it was a really wonderful experience to get away from people and from society and just be in contact with nature and dealing on a very primitive level.
Yeah.
I mean,
so it wasn't you being a wild thing. I mean, you're not going to go bungee jumping and all that stuff, are you?
I haven't done that, no, I can't say that. I do value my life somewhat, you know.
So what are you hoping to do now? Movies? What are you going to do now? More movies?
Well, I have a contract with Miramax and Disney, which requires me to do a few more films in the next few years. I'm very interested in acting, funnily enough, because it was never something that passioned me before. I never believed that it was a normal transition from modelling to acting. I still don't believe it's a normal transition.
Well, the odd one or two, yeah.
Well, I am very interested in
years.
the craft. I think it's a fascinating craft. I love to read, and so it's a job that gives me a lot of opportunity to read. I'm reading constantly scripts and examining themes and characters, and you know, it's...
So you're not just a pretty face, are you?
Not even. On some days, I'll tell you.
Good luck with the video.
Thank
I hope you enjoy
much.
your stay in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, Elle Macpherson.
Thank you.
Lovely. Elle Macpherson.